Mika Whaitiri.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, and I'm pleased to take a call on this committee stage. Sir, I want to focus in terms of part one on sub-part two. I want to thank the Minister for giving an explanation, particularly around the clause that I'm going to address, sir, in my contribution, and that's clause 9 and new section 75A. And she did touch on the appointment of principals, and I appreciate her assurances to the House that this is around flexibility, no one needs to take it up, and it's really at the, I guess, at the Board of Trustees whether they want to take this option up. And of course, Mr. Chair, I'm speaking about the appointment of principals. And in the particular clause where it talks about the powers conferred on the board by section 65 include the power to appoint a principal. 2 or more boards may appoint one person to the principal of 2 or more schools administered by the board. And subclause 3, a combined board as defined in section 93 may appoint one person to be the principal of 2 or more schools administered by the board. Now, sir, I understand the principle of flexibility. For me, representing the and also the Minister's own homelands of the East Coast, it makes me think how applicable that particular provision of perhaps one principal over 1 or 2 schools would actually work in practice. And I think it's important that as legislators in this House that we take the intention of bills and we apply it in a practical way to see whether it would work or not. And of course I'm talking about Ngata College, the own Minister's high school, and the principal there, Henrietta Milner, the mother of Nehi Milner Skara. I'm talking about the Kura Kaupapa Māori o Te Waiu o Ngāti Porou, which is just down the road. I'm talking about Campbell Jews School, Te Kura Kaupapa of Kawakawa Maitawhiti in Hicks Bay. Not to mention the Minister's own sister, the principal of Tolaga Bay Area School. And I guess in response to the Minister's assurances this is about flexibility, it would be useful to hear from the Minister, and what I was hoping she would say when she got up to clarify some issues about what research has her ministry undertaken to say that having one principal over multiple schools actually equals better education outcomes for our children. And I name those particular schools because the Minister is well aware of the diversity, not just in geographical diversity, but the history behind those iconic Ngāti Porou schools on the East Coast. And whether the Minister can see that this flexibility will address the real issue facing many of our people on the East Coast, one of a declining population, but the enthusiasm I get when I attend those schools with those principals and with those teachers and with those tauira around retaining their identity, their hapu identity and their Ngāti Porou tanga. And so, Sue, I put that there to the Minister to see if she can assure that those particular schools, from those iconic schools from her own area of Ngāti Porou, are protected under this. As she said, it's a flexible issue, but there's nothing stopping that somewhere down the track with this particular provision, someone says, well, look, we don't need your school, Campbell, we don't need your school, Henrietta, we can just combine it and we'll have one person there. And I can assure the Minister, as she well knows, there will be a huge reaction to that possibility. Sir, I then want to turn to subpart 7, clause 20, charter schools. Now, we are not adverse to looking at different ways of providing education. The problem, sir, though, in relation to the partnership schools is the process in which we have engaged with the local community. And I want to talk about the one that was announced in my electorate, Te Ara Tika. Now, Te Ara Tika that was announced by the member David Seymour around coming to Napier. He also said in his release, he talked about a special Māori character. We actually have 3 existing special Māori characters in Ikororāwhiti Hawke's Bay. Te Aotea College, Hokarere and St Joseph. Now, Sir, Mr Chair, In my point around supporting innovative, sir, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. In my point around supporting innovative ways and my point around the process of this particular announcement, we have 3 iconic Māori special character schools in the Hawke's Bay. So when this announcement was made, of course, anything that helps Māori males, because this is what this charter school is geared towards, year 11 to year 12, then my immediate reaction is, where are those year 11, year 13 young Māori males from Hawke's Bay going to come from? And of course, I'm going to go and call the principals of the special Māori characters in my electorate, Hokarere, Te Aute and St Joe's. Of course, only one of them are Māori males, that's Te Aute College. Interesting that the principals hadn't even been consulted about this announcement, and so much so that they felt that their, I guess the experience, particularly at Te Aute, to contribute to the success of a charter school in its own area was overlooked. And so, sir, the Minister might want to comment around tidying up your processes around announcing charter schools around this country, particularly if you're going to use the issue around Māori special character when you already have them in those regions. That's my point. No, nobody had called those schools. One, because seriously, we want it to be successful, but the reality is your process is flawed. Totally flawed. And that's what this announcement showed to that particular member. But back to the Minister on this bill. Those are my concerns. Subpart 2, Clause 9, around the principals, and Subpart 7, Clause 20, where we talked about charter schools. Minister, it would be good to hear from you around, and I don't want to mention about another announcement in my area, Te Whare Tāpere or Takitimu, that's apparently going to come out tomorrow. But just like you, I'm passionate about ensuring every Kiwi child in this country gets the best education that the state can provide. But we cannot just gung-ho change things for something new without proper research, and my point around what research has the Minister and her ministry provided her that 2 principals can adequately lead, or 1 principal can adequately lead multiple schools, and the other issue is around, please tidy up your process around announcing charter schools, particularly in areas when there's already Māori character schools. Kia ora tātou.